What a way to start the road trip for Milwaukee in Orlando, Florida here tonight. Welcome to Bucs Line postgame presented by Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin. A slugfest down the stretch in Milwaukee. Outlast Orlando 109 to 106, but it certainly was not easy as these two teams could meet in the playoffs, and they played a playoff-type team today. Paolo Banchero with 34 points in his first game in 34 games because of injury. Dame Lillard with 29 and Giannis a game-high 41 as the Bucs needed everything from their two superstars to get the win. Hi, everybody. Craig Sean inside our Milwaukee studios here on FanDuel Sports Network. And we've got Bucs Live postgame right here. Going to hear from Steve Novak in just a moment. But what a game this turned out to be. As I mentioned, 41 for Giannis, 29 for Dame, and, of course, 34 for Banchero as well. So all the superstars rose to the occasion here in this matchup that went down to the final 0.4 of a second before Milwaukee was able to seal this victory. So the Bucs now have won 3 straight games against important foes here, especially tonight. Let's go back to Orlando right now. Melanie Ricks, our sideline reporter, standing by with Dame Lillard on tonight's game.
Standing here with Damian Lillard. First off, Dame, congratulations on the win. Have you ever seen a finish like that before?
I actually haven't. You know, it just seemed like the game just kept getting extended over and over. Late whistles, balls getting tipped, you know, from rebounds. Just, it seemed like everything that could have extended the game happened. But, you know, as long as we came out on top, that's all I care about.
How were you guys able to persevere through this one?
I thought we just, you know, we picked our energy up. When we got stops and rebounded the ball and was able to push it at them, you know, we was having our way. And I think toward the end of that third quarter and in the fourth quarter, we just kind of turned it up and, you know, we started doing those things and we took over the game. And, you know, at that point, you just got to close it out down the stretch, and we did that.
How do you carry this momentum with you into the Garden?
We just got to continue to focus on the areas that we aren't doing well enough and understand what's making us successful against all of these teams and try to hold on to that and sustain that for longer periods of time. And I think we'll have success against any team.
Thanks, Dame.
Appreciate you.
All right, that's Dame Lillard following his big game against the Orlando Magic tonight. Again, the Bucs have won 3 straight, and a lot happening in the final minute. There were several reviews. There was a controversial clock that didn't run down the stretch. There were a lot of free throws, a couple of misses along the way in this one, but we bring in Steve Novak now. And Steve, first and foremost, before we get to Dame's night, this was some kind of game. When you just look at it, that these two teams, number 4 and 5, seeds currently in the East, could again meet in the playoffs, but this was very much a playoff-like game.
Yeah, it was, and there's some matchups that you just really look forward to, whether it be a Paolo against a Giannis or, in this case, Orlando versus Milwaukee, to your point, could be a playoff matchup, and obviously anyone in the Eastern Conference could, but because, you know, these teams are both so close right around that 4 and that 5 seed, it's looking like if it stayed that way, which obviously we're quite a ways off, but these are 2 playoff teams, clearly. Not sure where everybody's going to end up, and watching the way these last 2 matchups have gone against Orlando, where Milwaukee has had to squeak out wins. It was a 1-point game back on December 10th. It came down to just the last few possessions, and Suggs missing a big-time 3-pointer for a go-ahead 3, and it was no different tonight. Obviously, that clock malfunction in the game tonight was a little bit of a downer. You never want to see that happen, especially when everything is happening so fast, but it takes nothing away, I think, from the fourth quarter that it was for Giannis scoring 10 points, Dame scoring 10 points. The Bucs' highest scoring quarter was the 31-point fourth quarter, and so awesome to see against a really good defensive team in Orlando. Milwaukee was able to have their best performance in that fourth quarter, and obviously Paolo Banchero, what a performance from him. Like you said, after missing 34 games, to come back and have the game that he did with 34 points. Quite a player, going to be good in this league for a long time, and this matchup this year, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, it certainly has. Dame Lillard now, Steve. That big fourth quarter, as you mentioned, Dame 29 points, 7 assists, some big free throws on Menard's big money moment.
And he's just so fun to watch when he's in rhythm, and you can see he's downhill, he's from 3, he's doing all the things that we know make him Dame Lillard, is the fact that he's so unpredictable He's able to get his shoulder into guys like that, knock down these beautiful mid-range shots, but is a threat at all times to make a play. And, you know, there's been certain games he's been an unbelievable passer. And now you look at these last 3 games where he's had 26 points, 25 points, and now tonight's game continuing to stay hot, knocking down 12 threes in the last 3 games combined. I think it's just showing that his legs are back under him. He's in rhythm. He really has become, again, after having a couple quiet games, because the previous 2 games he was averaging just 16 points per game and he was shooting just 31%. But then you look at these last 3 and it's clear he's feeling good. He's making shots. And obviously when it's the best version of Dame, this is the best version of this Bucks team. And I think as you've seen Chris Middleton kind of shift from being a starter onto the bench, you're just seeing that this team continues to have so many weapons, starting lineup and the bench. Their depth is showing, and I think this was a really, really quality win for this group.
Yeah, it certainly was. No question about that. Our Habish and Rotier numbers that work. Focusing in on Giannis's final numbers here. 41 points at 19 of 29 field goals. Seemed like he had a million dunks in this one. 14 rebounds as well. Also 3 steals for Giannis's 26th double-double in his 5th 40-point game. Beginning to end in this one, Giannis just seemed to be on a mission. Once again, matching up a lot with Banchero like he did with Wemby the other day, Steve.
Yeah, and these matchups, they have been fun. When you see Giannis going against Wemby, look, he was the #1 pick 2 years ago. You go, this is going to be fun. It wasn't Wemby's best game. It wasn't the matchup I think we maybe all hoped for, but Giannis got the best of him, and he certainly got the best of Orlando again tonight, going against the 2022 #1 pick in Paolo Banchero. As good a game as he had, like you said, Giannis was relentless, and he was going against Jonathan Isaac with a beautiful dunk right there. Then it's Gogo Batazi's turn trying to stop Giannis. He's on the attack right there. Look, they're switching everything. They're putting bodies on him, but Giannis's ability to just get the ball and make these quick decisions, whether it's in transition, if it's in the mid-post, if it's at the top of the key, the way he's, I think, just evolved his game to basically being untouchable. He finds a way to get to the rack. Now he's shooting that mid-range jumper that makes him just that much more dangerous. I think it was beautiful to see, I think, the combo of that mid-range and him dunking the ball 9 times, or 1,000,000, Craig, however you counted it tonight. It was just awesome to watch, and Giannis with just another monster performance.
Indeed. 8-point lead for the Orlando Magic, 9. Those were the biggest leads in this one. We'll talk about how so much this was back and forth and what this superstar meant. Stay with us. Three-point win for the Bucks in Orlando tonight. Time to talk about 2 superstars, Giannis and Banchero. Giannis's dunk, Steve, with authority. A couple on the alley-oops from Middleton as well. It was an entertaining night.
Yeah, it really was, and he was all over the place, like you said, knocking down mid-range shots and attacking. But these dunks and his ability to get by guys, I think, has just been accentuated by the evolution of his game and having more of a perimeter shot. So no, the 3-point shot is barely used anymore by Giannis. He almost doesn't even attempt any, but obviously he's found a way to have a game where he has 9 dunks because of that mid-range threat and obviously just the versatility of his game. And look, Orlando was throwing a bunch of different guys at him, trying everything. Jonathan Isaac, an unbelievable athlete and guy who can block some shots, and you got Banchero, Wendell Carter Jr., all these big bodies that were just taking their turn, trying to beat Giannis up, wear him down. But then it came fourth quarter, and Giannis was still running that pick and roll, was still operating, still trying to get all the looks he had got earlier in the game. And it just goes to show this guy really is a heavyweight fighter. And when it comes to going against the Wembys and the Paolo Bancheros, it comes down to a few last possessions. And it was Giannis who was able to prevail, but it was not without a big-time fight from this guy who missed 34 games, comes back out here and looks like he's in prime form. And really, it's impressive. In just 27 minutes, Paolo Banchero is able to have these 34 points, shoots it right there about 50% from the field, was able to be really clutch late in the game from the free throw line, and got some unbelievable bounces and shots to go right here. Clutch, late shot, bouncing off almost the top of the backboard, and then still going down, keeping his team in it. And I think you just realize that this is a guy that, for the Orlando Magic, they average, without Banchero on the court, 95 points per 100 possessions, which is essentially a typical game, and they average 20 more points per 100 possession, 115 points per 100 possessions when he's out there on the court. And so he gives them quite the offensive bump. Orlando's known as a big-time defensive team, but you had Banchero out there, and this is a very dangerous team that is impressive to see Milwaukee able to beat these guys in a very meaningful cup game and then come to Orlando and do the same thing again.
They're technically tied for the 4th spot. Milwaukee, though, with a 2-0 lead in the season series. All right, we're going to come back with more here from Doc. Stay with us. Twelve different lead changes, 8 ties, a wild final minute here between the Bucks and Magic, but the Bucks win it by 3. Here's head coach Doc Rivers.
Throughout, but particularly fourth quarter, to
Yeah.
kind of build the lead and then to end it. Strong defensive rebounding as well.
Yeah, listen, the second and the fourth, 2 ending quarters, the end of halftime, and in the game, I thought defensively we did some great things. Gave up some long rebounds and things like that, and we made some plays. We talked about it after the game that we just can't make. But we hung in there defensively to win the game, and we'll take that all day.
In a game like that, to have, I mean, Giannis and Dame score 10 each, but then you have Brooke, who's such a good free throw shooter as well. I mean, to have offensive playmakers like that late, how big were they, especially considering the impact Orlando it has defensively, where it's tough. Like, they're not easy. They're not easy baskets.
Listen, we shot 52%. So offensively, and that was what I was talking about. It wasn't a high attempt game. 83 attempts is all we got, like we said before the game. But we made the best of them, And we have so much shooting on the floor. We just got to keep trusting that. I thought we did that overall. We have unbelievable free throw shooting, down the stretch of games. So you feel good about one-point games. I think we got a lot of players that can make plays.
You guys have played some close ones, but does this one feel even bigger, just considering how good they are defensively, how good this team is overall?
Yeah, and a lot of breaks didn't go our way. Like, I thought they stole the jump ball. I thought Giannis got fouled on a drive, and we just kept playing. We just kept playing through it. And I'm sure they had breaks the other way too. That's just how the game breaks. But I love the game though. It was very competitive, and I keep talking about that of late. I just think it's great for us. The more competitive, tough, like they're tough. The more games like that, the better.
What do you feel like Dame's?
All right, that's Doc Rivers. Up next, a trip to New York on Sunday afternoon. We'll preview it next. All right, the Bucks on the first of a 2-game weekend road trip in Orlando here tonight. A 109-106 victory. Hard-fought, good victory for Milwaukee. They've now won 3 in a row. Up next, they'll go to New York to take on Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns and the New York Knicks Sunday afternoon from the Big Apple. And the New York Knicks are in that number 3 spot right now in the East. They lose to Oklahoma City at home tonight. They got it handed to them. 126-101 was the final there. So we'll see if the Bucks can do a little more damage and put a dent into the Knicks' plans as well on Sunday afternoon. Our coverage of that one begins at 1:30 right here on FanDuel Sports Network. So we look forward to that. Giannis and company doing the job against Paolo Banchero, who makes his return after missing 34 games, had 34 points in only 27 minutes. But Giannis, a game-high 41. Dame chipped in 29 as well as the Bucks win it 109-106. See you again right here on Sunday afternoon for Bucks basketball.